Hey everybody, welcome to the Herd Fit Podcast with Dr. Sam Rhee and myself, Coach David Syvertsen. This podcast is aimed at helping anyone and everyone looking to enhance their healthy lifestyle through fitness, nutrition, and most importantly, mindset.
All right, welcome back to the Herd Fit Podcast. I am Coach David Syvertsen, and thankfully back with my co-host, Dr. and Coach Sam Rhee, because I can't figure out the audio anytime I do this. Sam, it's good to have you back, man. What's up?
Happy to help. It's good to be back.
Sam is a plastic surgeon, a CrossFit box gym and owner, a sound tech, anything you can imagine to be good at, he's good at. So, yeah, today's topic, guys, we are going to talk about something that actually came up in a couple of different conversations at the gym. And this is something, anytime I have a conversation at the gym, that comes up repeatedly with multiple people that are in completely different walks of life. I'm like, there you go, podcast topic. I'm just kind of wired to think like that. Because at the end of the day, saying we're on season 5 or 6 now, 160 episodes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get like something comparable to a writer's block. It's like, what should we talk about? I don't want to just pull something out of thin air. And you know, the way that news cycle works, there's always something. But I also think that as my personal perspective changes on myself, on CrossFit, on the sport, on the community, on people, there's always new things to talk about. But every now and then, I'm kind of just listening to what people are talking about at the gym. And that kind of inspires a conversation that I want to have with you. Because at the end of the day, you want to have something relevant to talk about. I know that everything we want to talk about isn't always something that others want to hear. So if I have conversations at the gym, or I hear others have conversations at the gym over and over, it's like, okay, there's something there to bite off. So we're going to talk about something today in regard to a new branded app that Bison is going to be launching about 2 weeks from today. I'm not nervous. I'm so nervous that it's going to... No, but the staff over at PushPress, which has been helping us out we started talking to these guys. I think our first email back and forth with them was 2.5 years ago. It's been a really long time, and they've been nothing short of amazing, and we're really excited. And part of this branded app is, other than it being everything in one location, sign up for classes, buy your memberships, update everything, there's going to be a lot that we can do with it in time, that's where our workouts are going to be. To give you guys some background color, our workouts have been posted on a private Facebook group and sent via email since once we started actually sending workouts for the past 5 years.
Right. So at the end of every class, the coach writes down everyone's name, their score, and it's literally on a dry erase board with a marker. And then at the end of the day, the last coach takes a picture of that, posts it to the Facebook group.
Yep. That's how we log scores here at an almost 11-year affiliate. We use the whiteboard. And I actually take a lot of pride in that. And I think that's a key reason why we are what we are. But it's not the most efficient word. I've changed so much. I'm using the words like efficiency here. But it's not the most efficient way for people to log scores. It's definitely not the most efficient way for coaches to help athletes track their own scores or look at past results. Give you an example. We just did a Bison benchmark early in the fall, and we just retested it a couple weeks ago. And people come in 10 weeks later looking to repeat the workout, and they don't know what they got. And I don't really fault them for it. We'll get into that at some point. But in order for us to find their past results, we're going into that private Facebook group, hopefully finding it through the search option, which in Facebook somehow still doesn't work. But we usually find it that one way or another. And we're looking through a picture, zooming in to try to find someone's name that might have come at 6 a.m. or 6:15 p.m. And that's how we tell someone their score. Now, it's worked, but it's not very efficient. And there's a lot of reasons why we're changing our whole back-end system to this new app. But one of the things I think the athletes are going to benefit the most from is the ability to see the workouts in there, but also log every single result into that app, and it will forever be there. It'll be so easy to find anything. Past workouts, benchmark girls, lifts, hero workouts. If you're on top of logging, so that's something, an investment we as owners are making into that app, so that it's called Train, PushPress Train, that you guys can go in there and always be able to log and find your stuff. We've never really had that. We've tried it with Beyond the Whiteboard. Sam, what's your initial impression as an athlete and coach and an owner, the value of doing it, but also some of the shortcomings?
I am not a good person when it comes to logging, and I'm very hopeful that this will change my habits. I've tried several times to log my results, either beyond the whiteboard, spreadsheets. It's been terrible. I take a picture of my my score every day when I leave. Like, I write down the watt on the little dry erase board. I take a picture of it. I've been terrible. I only have the vaguest ideas what my like PRs are, what my numbers are. I couldn't tell you what my Bison benchmark was the first time.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's because it takes a lot of work and discipline to log all this stuff. So I'm very hopeful that this app will help us take some of that grunt work out of it.
Yeah, and I've been inconsistent with it too. I know very few people that have logged everything, and it's funny. To me, the people that have done it most consistently, it's actually a handwritten book that they bring to the gym and they write down everything they do. And Lisa Sargenti does that.
Oh yeah,
really impressive. And to me, there's shortcomings in that approach as well, because it can be hard to find certain things. Like, technology can really help you filter and find certain dates and movements. But I think one of the reasons why, and this sounds like a little bit of a petty excuse, but it's just, we're busy people. We're constantly in and out. And in an app like this, when everything is in one central location, it's a lot easier to be like, hey, this is exactly where I go for this, that, and that, rather than close my Zen planner to sign up for class, go to my new app or go to my spreadsheet. Sometimes it loads, sometimes it doesn't. You have to look for a workout, or I have to look for a lift, or I have to input my own workout. Right. I stopped doing that for a long time because it was literally taking me 6-7 minutes to log some of these more like complex workouts. And it just got to a point I'm like, you know what? My memory is good enough. I know generally what I can do lift wise. But I want to challenge our members here at Bison, and I want to challenge anyone listening that is not from this gym, that if you have an opportunity or some sort of logging system, try to give it a good 2 to 3 week run. And once you get over the quote inconvenience of it, see if you can start to really find the benefit of the discipline. That at the end of the day, that is what it is. It's a discipline to add a log, because this time of year we have reset. You have a lot of people that, want to change their bodies. They want to lose weight. They want to lose fat, gain muscle, all this stuff. You do have to have some sort of logging system with your nutrition. Like if someone says, hey, I want to lose fat, gain muscle, I'm like, okay, what's your body fat percentage? No, I'm not stepping on that scale. Like, well, how do you know if there's a result there? Well, I want to lose weight. How much do you weigh? I don't want to step on the scale. Well, you kind of have to. And if you want to make progress within CrossFit, you do have to kind of log stuff. You can't always go based on memory, even if you have a gifted memory. So I'm really hoping that, these benefits of logging workouts can help you out. The negatives. Let's talk about why you would not log a score, beyond just being busy. Sam, why is the main reason why you don't, other than inconvenience, or is that the main reason why you don't log every day?
Inconvenience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between this app and what we do on the whiteboard, right? When you come to a class at Bison, you come to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7, whatever, we just write your name based on a random order. Sometimes, coaches have a different way of doing it, but it's never a leaderboard. It's never a rank. It's just like, hey, what's your name? What's your score? See you later. Bye. Hey, what's your name? What's your score? See you later. Bye. In this app, when you log your score, it auto ranks you. It's like the CrossFit Open, which is it's coming up. You're gonna log a score into a website, it poofs, it's gone. But when it shows up on the leaderboard, it ranks you compared to every single other person workout that you did. Every other person that did that workout. And that's okay, because it's 3 weeks a year. It's kind of what the Open is. Start of the comps is you get it. But does it get old after a while seeing where you rank every single day in the gym? Whether you tried hard or not, whether you're hurt or you're not, whether you're going through stuff or not, you're growing to get an objective rank. Is that a deterrent to logging a score every day?
Yes, it puts pressure on athletes in different ways, which if you've ever been to a gym like one that uses a Wattify or other kind of logging software where it goes up and you see who was the fastest, who lifted the most, who did the most reps, it changes things, for sure, in terms of the atmosphere of the gym and the culture of that gym.
And that is the number one concern that we always have as owners. We can talk about our books, our spreadsheets, our numbers, our revenue, our expenses, culture. One of the conversations I had was, hey, if we keep putting our scores in and it keeps ranking people, it's going to become, and the word that was used was toxic. It's going to become a toxic part of that app to the point where it could cause problems that we have done a decent job of over the year of avoiding. We're a very competitive gym. We know that, right? But we've done also a pretty good job of not, anointing people that do well and looking down on people that, quote, don't do well or have lesser scores. We've never really had that vibe here from a macro perspective. I know there's probably little glimpses here and there that we get either side of that a little too extreme. But part of that reason why is we don't rank people on the whiteboard. We just write your name and you're part of the crew. I talked to the app developer and I said, is there a way to create a scoreboard / leaderboard where it's just chronological? Every time you put a score in, your name goes in alphabetical order or the order in which you put it. That's how it shows up on the app. And it's funny, it's not an option right now. And they are looking into it. They're very responsive on that. I go back and forth on this because, I like to compete, right? I like to, whether I'm driving down Route 208 or, oh my God, and my son is telling me, Dad, 4 cars passed you. And I'm like, it's like a knife going through my heart when he says something like that. Or I'm at the 7 a.m. class with Dan Coda and we're going rep for rep on wall ball toes to bar, like literally trying to beat him. And he's trying to beat me. I feel it, but I understand. I'm very understanding that not everyone is like that. If anything, it's a turnoff to some people.
You won by 1 second.
I did today. Yep. Thank you for telling them. But I have a feeling sometimes that we go too far in the other direction for the sake of trying to protect people's feelings. I've felt that when I've actually had a conversation with Liz about that too, that in regards to the Open, what we're doing this year we haven't announced yet what we're doing at the Open with Bison, and that info will be coming out soon. But it's almost like we've kind of lost our mojo a little bit because, this conversation going in a really different direction, but I do think part of the reason why we've lost some of that mojo is because some of our former athletes that were really high performers are no longer into it. Like, not even not capable. They're just not into that kind of scene of going hard. And we just don't want to make them upset. I hope we don't hurt your self-esteem by still anointing everyone else now that you can't do it. That's a concern of mine, that you almost lose your personality a little bit. The personality that made this what it is. And that's the conversation I'm starting to go towards in regard to, maybe we shouldn't make it a leaderboard.
I would say I have always felt the opposite. I've been to gyms where they've listed all the scores in rank, and the culture did not seem to be very healthy at those gyms. People would cherry pick workouts. So if it was a lift workout and they were really good, they would show up. They'd crush it.
Yeah.
Like 500 pounds over everybody else. And then it's like some sort of cardio workout with toes to bar or some other high skill movement. They wouldn't even show up. And at that point, it was all about ego. It was truly about what they wanted other people to see. Now, right now, the way the system works, I think is a reasonable balance. I honestly feel like I know who's good at certain movements.
Right.
And I, at the end of the day, I will scan and look at everybody's movements or scores, and I'll say, oh, okay, so-and-so who I know is really good or close to where I am did this. But it takes a little bit of an effort to do that. And it doesn't elevate automatically the best numbers all the way up there. And I think we already sort of know who's good at what in a lot of ways. And to even emphasize that, I feel like it not only emphasizes, it pressures people to cherry pick and just do the workouts that they're really good at, not do the ones that they're bad at and they look bad on the numbers side, but also maybe pushes people too hard. So maybe you're, and I hear this time and time again. I just talked to somebody and they're like, I don't like being in that environment because I'm around people and then I push a little bit too hard. I injure myself because I was trying to get that number so I could get a little bit better on the ranking. And to me, maybe it's just because of my age or because I've been hurt so often, or I take a little bit of a different perspective in terms of what my goal is here. I don't want that. I don't want more pressure on the gym to have, so-and-so always doing great. I think their egos are good enough at this point. And I don't want people feeling badly about it. I don't want no scores.
Right.
Like that would be the opposite would be terrible. I think it would be worse to have no scores. I think people should put their scores up. You should see what they are. You should have some accountability. But that straight up ranking all the time, every day for every workout, I'm really against that.
Yeah, and I see your point, and this is why, someone in a different conversation I had about this very thing, someone said it's like you guys always seem to find like that perfect, like the balance of the two, and that's why I think this answer is all about art and it's not about science. Like there's not going to be an equation or an exact template that says on these days you do it this way, you write it that way, but you don't do that. There's an art to it where you have to have a little bit of back and forth. You have to have a little bit of give and take. And maybe certain points of the year, you are going towards the performance and the rankings, which open quarterfinals. But for the vast majority of the year, don't go down that path, because if you overdo one side, if you overdo the rankings, first place, last place, RX scaled, you are going to shut out, whether you agree with it or not, you are going to shut out a huge crowd of people. But if you constantly get away from the competitive side and you don't kind of talk about that or anoint or exploit some of these issues or at least just talk about them and give competitors the opportunity to really shine and show and display what they put the work into, they'll leave. They'll go somewhere else where they can. We have people in this gym right now because of the competitive environment. We also have people in this gym because it's a community environment. And I've always said, these gyms, you should be able to do both. You don't have to pick one, but you do have to have people at the top that are not so biased towards one side. People listening right now might say, Dave, you are biased towards performance and competitive because you like to do it. And that I won't argue against it. So that's why it's important to have people that are not in charge as well, because you complement each other well. I think the best businesses, and especially the best CrossFits, they're not so intense on one side of this discussion. You have voices on both sides, but it takes more than just voices to do that. It takes the humility and the ability to look at the other perspective and actually make sound decisions off of that. So, example, if I'm saying, you know what, Sam, I'm going to listen to that. I don't want people overreaching and going after things they shouldn't go after. But hey, we have a leaderboard in the gym every single day, and it's going to be on a big widescreen TV at the front of the gym because that's the way I feel it should be. And these decisions can be hard if there's kind of like a T in the road and you have to go left or right. But I do think there's a balance. There's a way to feed both sides. And I think that is always our goal, is to make sure. So this circles back to this app that I'm actively trying to find a way to make it where it's not a leaderboard every day. And if we get that option, we're going to do that. But maybe on certain days, a benchmark workout, a Fran, an open workout, there will be a leaderboard. So that's from the administrative side.
Okay.
What about from the athlete side, Sam?
I thought you've been doing a great job about sort of balancing it. I thought the level system has been such a positive add in terms of programming. I was a little skeptical when you first introduced levels. I think it's awesome. I think it allows people to perform at a level without and push without feeling like they have to do something because somebody else is doing it, but you're still recording and seeing what your performance levels are.
And there's still some of it, but not as much.
Right. I think the competitive people who are out there are still getting their juice because they can all see, all right, who did level 1? What did they get? And then for everyone else who, like me, who's like, all right, I'm level 2 or level 3, we're still pushing and we're still doing what we have to do. But I don't feel like I'm comparing myself to the level 1 guys. I'm just like, all right, I'm doing my thing. But I can still see what my numbers are. Sort of like the community cup that's coming up. Like they're doing the levels thing for that too. I think that was a great ad. I am mixed. I'm not sure what ranking certain days would do. I guess it would be sort of like a mini open at the gym if we saw that. I would be very strongly against ranking every day. Like
Okay.
I would say I would rather not put anything up literally than to put a rank up every day. If PushPress couldn't work that out for
So
us.
that's the question. That's like, because we're really talking about it from our perspective, like the decision maker perspective, the administrative perspective. From the athlete perspective, and this is where I think, I mean, they hold the keys to the bus on this, because I want them logging their stuff. I really do. For selfish reasons, is this going to be easier for us to help them out? Like, we can find their lifts, everything, find their scores from 2 months ago. Last time we did Grace, last time we did Isabel. It's just so much easier to find than using our outdated Facebook system. But if they feel that way, the whole ranking, the leaderboard, they won't do it.
Right.
So you kind of have to listen, like, to the inmates in the asylum a little bit. You know, it's
Wait,
like,
you're calling our athletes crazy?
we are crazy. Someone just called me. I've never watched the Squid Games before. Someone just said, "Do you ever feel like you're the whatever guy in the Squid Games?" Like, do you watch it?
I watched the first season. I haven't watched the second one.
I've never watched it once in my life, and I guess there's someone that like stands over the top and like watches people torture themselves.
yeah.
Do you feel like that guy? So if they're gonna call me that, I don't even know what his name is.
I
can
think
call
that's
him
an
anything.
insult, but okay.
So the athlete side of this, I want them to do it. And if they feel a certain way, whether I agree with it or not, at the end of the day, it's irrelevant what I feel about how they're feeling. It is. I do have to listen to it. They're not going to log. And it kind of like takes away part of the reason why we're investing in this. You know, this is an increased cost for us as a business. Like, we're putting some serious coin into this compared to what we've used in the past. And if they don't use it, it's kind of like a pointless thing. So I do want to listen to them to a point. But here's a question, athletes. I'm going to reverse this on you. Are you willing to record workouts that you RX and do well in, but you're not willing to record the workouts that you don't do well in or that you don't scale? Be honest with yourself right now. Put yourself in this scenario. If you crush a workout because there's a strength workout for you, and you can't wait to put it in that app. You can't wait to log that score. You do it before you walk out of the building. If your reaction is different than, hey, this workout crushed me, I can't do this movement, I had to scale it, my shoulder hurts, my knee hurts, I'm not going to log it. That is an athlete problem. 100%, not 99. That is a complete athlete problem. If you want to log your score when it's good, you don't want to deal with the leaderboard when you're bad. That's where I think this issue is going to circle back to at some point.
It's going to be more work for me as a coach. I can already tell if you rank these people, like right now, like for example, today,
Yep.
on the snatch workout,
Yep.
I was telling people, don't worry about your numbers,
Very good
worry about your technique.
Yep.
And if that leaderboard comes out, they're going to think, I need a number. I don't care. I know I can hit 105 if I press the crap out of that snatch. But if you want me to do it properly, I can only do 95.
Great
so
point.
guess what they're going to do? They're going to friggin' press that thing out. It's going to be ugly. They're not going to learn any better, and we're not going to progress more because they just capped out because they keep pressing out. And as a coach, I'm fighting that leaderboard a lot.
You are.
I'm not every time, but a lot of times I'm like, guys, focus on this. The scores will come if you focus on this. And the great athletes know that. Like Kristen Torres hit 135. She knows she can hit 155, but she squat snatched all of it. Why? Because she wanted to work on her squat snatch today. And
but her number now says 135 instead of 155.
That's exactly right. And if it was ranked, then maybe someone who's less who has less of a presence, mind presence than Kristen would be like, screw that. I'm going to go for 155.
Yeah. I know this for a fact. People will come in, they're going to try to hit 140 now just because of that number.
Right.
And that's a huge, it's like a blessing and a curse. Like, I like the idea of pursuing things and working hard and being pushed by others. I mean, it's part of the reason why we come here is to be pushed by others. But the attachment that we have to those numbers and those results will what undoubtedly make the coaches' approach a lot more difficult, because we're constantly fighting through this. Guys, don't pursue numbers only. Pursue your movement first, your quality first, your recovery first, and then pursue performance.
I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
You do a ladder or whatever. You do a lift workout, and you're only recording the heaviest. So guess what I'm doing? I'm like going really light. And then on that last lift, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go so hard for that one.
Yep.
And it increases my risk of injury. It's a cheat. And then I remember I was lifting with Adam Storms and we were back squatting and he started heavy, and he didn't go up much, but his workout was better than mine.
For sure.
Because I started at 95. He started at 135. We ended around the same.
So your numbers are the same on the whiteboard.
Our numbers are the same, but he got a better workout, and he was and that's the sort of stuff that I just know is going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's immature, but you know it's going to happen. You know, it's like we need speed limits on our roads because you know people are going to go way too fast. You know, and you can't solve every speeding issue with these signs that you put up on the street, but you'll take out a good chunk of them. You'll make people think twice about doing something. And, you know, a coaching line that I've used a lot over the years, and I still use it. I got to come up with new stuff, man. It's been 11 years now. But I'll say if we were not writing your weight on the whiteboard, but we were going to rate the quality of your movement on the whiteboard, would your approach be different? Like today, we snatched. If Sam walked around and gave you 1 out of 10, 1 being worse, 10 being best with your technique, and that's the number you're getting at, would you go as high? Would you go that high?
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And that's where, again, blend of athlete responsibility, but also us as coaches and owners putting them in the right position to make good decisions. It's almost like, I hate saying this, but it's almost like being a parent.
Yeah.
You're opening the door, and like you want your kids to go and succeed on their own and be adults, but you are kind of pushing them in a certain direction as much as you can to a point. Same thing as a coach to an athlete. If we are using a daily leaderboard, then you're not pushing them in the direction of pursuing what we preach. Quality first, consistency second, intensity third.
What are you going to do if PushPress comes back and goes, you know what, we can't really do that?
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
And what will your decision be in terms of how we use this? Because I agree with you. We really do need to start logging scores. Like it's really a cardinal sin that I'm not keeping good track of my numbers, and almost everyone else isn't either.
So, my approach, we're not getting rid of it. Period. There is a workaround that I still have not confronted. It's working. That's why I'm nervous about the app. There's I think it works, but I'm not sure. There is something I have on the snatches today. It's called Everyone, and there's RX scaled and there's Everyone. I think I can delete RX scaled options and just put everyone in there. So that means scaled and RX would be on the same leaderboard. You wouldn't know who did what. So in a scaled day, all right, the people that do single unders, right, are getting better scores on that leaderboard than RX. That to me immediately becomes, all right, it's no longer a leaderboard. The higher numbers will appear first, but it won't say RX and scaled. It'll just have something the same. So that's an option. Option 2 is, hey, do you? If you don't want to log every day, don't. You should log every lift you do, because that to me is just important. Or go fill out the benchmarks. So anytime we do a girl workout,
I see.
Anytime we do a lift, don't put the workout in today's result.
Oh, just put it into the benchmark.
And so that's another option. Is there a setting, and there is not right now, will there ever be a setting where someone on their own app can say, I don't want my score to be public.
Right. So you can log, but not have it show up on the leaderboard.
That to me, I don't know much about coding and software development. That is probably an easier solution, that you can make a setting on someone's profile to be private, because that's everywhere. That's Instagram, Facebook, everything. So that's another option. But I don't ever want to say, hey, we're not going to log results, because I don't believe in that.
Do you want to just try it for a month and just say, hey, we're going to log, it's going to rank, and just see what happens?
Yeah. And the word toxic, to me, that one word that stands out, and who said it to me, it means a lot, because she's just very smart, and I respect her opinion on a lot of things. And she's someone that doesn't say a lot. When she does, you got to listen. And that word toxic to me is something that lingers for a long time. It kind of builds up for a year or two. And then, so I don't know if a month would be enough to really figure that out.
So you maybe so let's assume PushPress comes back and says, you know what, we can't do it.
Yeah.
You're still going to try it, right? You're going to, everyone logs.
Yeah, we know not everyone will, though. I'm telling you right now, I would say less than half our people will log. I believe that.
I think everyone should try to log.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
We should push.
And we'll push it at the whiteboard.
Yeah, and then you're just gonna see what happens when everybody sees the numbers ranked the way they are.
Am I allowed to say this, Sam?
What?
You don't have to look at the leaderboard.
Yeah.
You can log your result and never look at it.
Mm.
Today, I came in and I purposely, because I'm not feeling great right now, just not like body actually feels good, but I just feel a little under the weather. And I didn't want to feel any pressure to snatch a certain weight. I just wanted to see how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't look at one lift on the whiteboard as you were talking. And I'm usually looking at like, what did Squire hit? What did Greg Figure hit?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look at once. And I just lifted. I just went based on feel. And I was actually really happy with how it felt today. Mm-hmm. And I go up to the whiteboard, I give 190. Then I look, I'm like, oh, crap. Greg
205.
That crap. That 190. But I honestly think that if I looked at that number prior to, I might have overextended, or I just would have had a different mind space.
Yes.
So it goes to show, even someone that's been doing this a long time, I'm not afraid of competition. Even when I lose, I'm not afraid of it. But it goes to show, it's almost like how I feel about with people's social media. You look for things that piss you off. Like, you look for things that make you upset. Like, it is so easy in this app. It's not like you log your result and it's like, Dave, you came in 18th place today. Good luck. You suck. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's the way some people feel about it.
It's because you're looking.
Yeah.
You can log your result and not know where you stand. Does it take discipline? Yes. It takes discipline to not eat 3 desserts either, but it's very possible. You know, you can definitely log a result and not let it fuel your competitive fire.
Do you think we've lost members because they felt like they weren't competitive and they were constantly competing and they were like, I'm trying, and I'm not good enough compared to the people I feel like I should be better than, so I'm leaving. This is not good for me.
Yes.
All right.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I also think there's people that won't come to this gym because it's too intense. I do. And even like, you know, there's a lot of classes, it's not intense here. It's not, but you don't know because I don't know why. You know, reputation, social media, your friends, your self-esteem. But, you know, one thing I think we've talked about in this podcast more than anything is like you can't, you know, it's one in one ear out the other for some. Your self-worth can't be on where you rank in the gym, especially if you work out 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. You don't pay attention to it elsewhere. You just can't. It's not realistic.
You know what? You're right. I think leaderboarding it is going to magnify people's issues. So if you have an ego problem, if we have an ego problem to begin with, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
But maybe that also means we're going to have to be like, I have an ego problem. I need to address this.
Yep.
I can't freak out about what I'm doing on the leaderboard.
The root cause.
Yeah. So it might be not a bad thing, actually. I'm kind of flipping around a little bit. Let's try it.
Yeah.
And if people start getting toxic about it, well, say, you know what? It's not the leaderboard that's the problem. Yeah. It's what you're seeing and perceiving in your head that's really the problem.
And what you're looking for.
Yeah, because you know what? The numbers are the numbers. It's how you manage how you feel about it.
Right.
And maybe as coaches, that's what we're going to just have to work on is say, listen, you're going to have to work on your problem. That's not a numbers problem. It's a perception problem.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way to wrap it up because I do believe in logging for a lot of reasons. And even just like the comment section, the notes, and then there's a community component that we're all in there, and you can leave comments on people's things. Like I've left some comments on workout scores, and like it's just like, oh, nice job. Because hey, I didn't get to see you. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Right.
Great job. I saw those cows. Like it's an opportunity for coaches and athletes to really build each other up. If we can get over the egocentric stuff that has to do with leaderboard. Now, compromise here. We're not going to put a flat screen TV in the gym. Sorry, De Silva. With a daily leaderboard. That would be too much.
A lot of gyms do that.
I know. And it's the same 6 people. And it's like, at some point, it's like, all right, look, I think that's overkill in my opinion.
Well, you don't want to see Dave Syvertsen up there every day?
No, I don't want to see Alex Lanzana above Dave Syvertsen every day. 6 years ago, maybe. No, just kidding. But I want to wrap this up with everyone that, you know, whether you come to Bison or you have an opportunity to log your results, do it. And the only way you're going to know how you feel about it and if it's helping you long term, if you do it for, I would say, at least a month straight, good, bad, ugly, scaled, RX, injured, not injured, it's a great habit to get into. And if you truly are here to better yourself, whether you're competing or not, this is a near mandatory thing to do. I think there's so much skin left on the bone for people that want to improve anything, but they don't want to take the extra minute or two to log their stuff. I think there's so much positive that comes from this, but we are fully aware in our positions that there are potential negatives here, and we will do our best to stay on top of them.
Yes, I think that's our responsibility.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Herd Fit podcast. Be on the lookout for next week's episode.